Brother and lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. Arsenal 0, Newcastle 0. We're going to be reacting to that game. We're going to be talking much about what happened last night because it was a disaster from the referee. We're going to be talking about Mikel Arteta's decision not to bring on Fabio Vieira when we actually needed a goal. We're going to be talking about the need for new legs, the need for new players on that Arsenal bench, and so much more that actually happened in that game. Hit the like button for me. Let's get this video to 500 likes. Subscribe to the podcast as well. We're very close to 63,000 subscribers. Yesterday, who was your man of the match? I thought we had a couple of good performances as well. Arsenal totally dominant in that in that game. Both halves, Arsenal totally dominant. The difference is that we created chances and we did not take them. So who was your man of the match? Was it Martin Odegaard, who I thought again had a very mind-blowing performance, but just couldn't find the goal, just couldn't find that final pass to Edin Ketia, who I thought was actually very pathetic on the evening yesterday. Was it Gabriel Martinelli? I don't think it was Martinelli because I thought Martinelli was very quiet on the evening, but I thought Thomas Partey played very well, and Bruno Guimaraes somehow got disappeared. He disappeared in that game. Thomas Partey, another masterclass from him. I thought Saliba played very well yesterday, and I thought Alexander Zinchenko also played very well yesterday as well. So let me know who was your man of the match in that game. Come on, we can't lose points, we can't drop points, but we have to keep on moving. Now, the first thing I want to talk about in that game is the refereeing. That was absolutely pathetic. That is the worst refereeing I've seen in 2023. That is worse than what we saw in Qatar in the World Cup. That is, that was pathetic. Those yellow cards at halftime, they were pathetic. They were absolutely pathetic. And I'm not saying the yellow cards to Arsenal only. I'm saying the overall officiation of that game was below standards. The yellow card that went to Edin Ketia, the yellow cards that he was giving out at halftime, they were uncalled for. They were absolutely uncalled for. And I'm looking at this game and I'm going, he has spoiled it. It is halftime, and already in my mind, I had it. He has spoiled this game. Because if you book Xhaka, you book Odegaard, you book Partey, you book Edin Ketia, you book almost each and everyone on that pitch, you're literally killing the best game in the country. You're basically killing the best game that anyone could watch in Europe right now. And the inconsistencies for me, guys, are actually what actually blowed my mind away. I don't understand. I really didn't understand what he was trying to do as a referee. I don't really understand whether he was trying to get himself in the headlines as a referee or he was trying to officiate the game in the way it had to be officiated. You have talked about those two penalty calls, and I'm asking myself, why has VAR not looked at him? Why has VAR not looked into his decisions and go to the screen and review your decisions? The first penalty incident is a penalty 100 times out of 100 times. Dan Burn in the penalty area is dragging Gabriel Magalhaes to the floor. He's dragging Magalhaes to the floor. And VAR do not look at that. And VAR do not send him, they don't send the referee to the screen to review his decision. I don't understand that. If that is not a penalty, in my opinion, I do not understand that. Yes, maybe the second one is a little bit controversial. Maybe his hand is, yes, in an unnatural position and is flying everywhere in the penalty area. And, that could be explained in any other way. But dragging Gabriel Magalhaes to the ground in the penalty area in a set piece while the ball is live, and that is not a penalty, and that is not looked at, and that is not a case where the referee goes to the screen. I can't explain that. That officiation yesterday, guys, was the worst we have seen in 2023, and I hope it's the last one. I don't know what happens with referees when it comes to Arsenal and New Year games. Yeah, it was like that in 2020 when we played Manchester City. We had a very good game. We had a very good game. We scored fast. We pressed against them, and somehow the referee ruined that game, giving away a very silly penalty that no one ever thought it would be given, and then the game was gone. So for me, guys, yesterday, the first thing I want to talk about is the officiation. That was below standards. The second penalty, as the game is ending, Xhaka crosses that ball. It's a low ball, right? And this is where I think this is a penalty. It's a low ball. It's not a high ball. It's a low ball, right? And the player is going down. The Newcastle player is going down. His hands are flying all over the place. Someone explain to me how that also is not given. Someone explain to me how that as well is not a penalty, right? His hands are not in a natural position. They're flying around. And actually, 2 days ago, I was watching Real Madrid Valladolid, and that is the penalty awarded to Karim Benzema. That is the penalty awarded Real Madrid, and Karim Benzema converted, right? Because your hand is in an unnatural position and it blocks the trajectory of the ball. It blocks a potential goal scoring opportunity. I don't understand. To be honest, I don't understand. I really didn't understand the books and the rules we were using yesterday to officiate the Arsenal-Newcastle game. I really didn't understand. But to the FA, that was pathetic. That was absolutely pathetic, and I'm not really happy at all. But overall, guys, I think Arsenal really played very well. The first half had a lot of quality chances, and this is what I've always said in these games. The only way you win such games, the only way you pick up 3 points in such games is waking up and taking your chances, creating quality chances, no problems, but you've got to take them. You've got to take those chances. And that's what we failed at yesterday. Martin Odegaard in the first half. Oh my God. That should be in the back of the net. That should be in the back of the net. Gabriel Martinelli's header in the second half, that should be in the back of the net as well. And Gabriel Magalhaes' header that was about to dip inside, the net, that should also be on target. So I think the difference between Newcastle and Arsenal yesterday was Arsenal were too good but couldn't find a goal, and Newcastle were very, very poor. They didn't deserve anything in that game, and they actually got something. They got a result, and you could see how they celebrated. You could see what the result actually meant to them. They've gone 2 games unbeaten now against Arsenal. That's not the point for me. The point is they deserved nothing in that game, and I'm saying this out of I'm saying this very, very objectively. Listen to this. Arsenal had 17 shots on goal, 4 on target. Newcastle 8, 1 on target, 67% ball possession for Arsenal, 33% for Newcastle. Arsenal managed 536 touches. Newcastle 253 only. Arsenal's passing accuracy was 85%, and their pass completion ratio was only 70%. So you could see we pressed them to an extent they couldn't put 1, 2, 3 right passes together. We pressed them that they couldn't have the ball for a long time. They couldn't actually keep it very well, and we were very, very dominant. We were very good when we had the ball. It is just that final touch, and I saw Martin Odegaard trying to make things happen. I saw Gabriel Magalhaes. By the way, Gabriel Magalhaes must be named among the potential men of the match because he had a very, very good game. He was trying to make things happen at both ends, trying to defended very, very well. And then on the other side, he also did a massive job by just making sure that, we tried to get a goal, right? I saw him on more than one occasion in the penalty area, pushing, flexing for Arsenal to get a goal. That was a really, really emphatic performance from Gabriel Magalhaes. Big up, man. Really, really big up. That was a very, very bold performance, right? But the difference in this game is when Arsenal do not take their chances. When Arsenal do not take those quality chances that we were creating. I saw Martin Odegaard's a shot in the second half that was whiskers, millimeters away from Xhaka's foot. And I'm like, if there is better positioning from a striker, Xhaka shouldn't be in that area, in between the penalty area. It should be Eddie Nketiah. And Gabriel Martinelli's header that actually goes wide, if it is Harry Kane, he's making that run at the back post 10 times out of 10 times. He's making that run at the back post, and Haaland can score that, right? And that is what makes them quality strikers. That's what makes them high-class strikers, because they always make that run. It is deep-rooted in their subconscious. When it's a free kick, when it is a double situation, you have to make that run to the far post. You have to make that run to the far post, because that is where all balls eventually end up. If any striker, positions themselves at that far post 10 times per 90, they will score a hat-trick every game. And I'm telling you this, this for fact. So we didn't play poorly. It's very, very wide of the mark. I thought Arsenal were really, really good. And just like Mikel said in his press conference, if we play like this, every game we are going to win so many games. Like that was bossy. That was absolutely bossy. But let's talk about Mikel Arteta's decisions. Before I talk about a few players who actually disappointed me yesterday. Number one, why is Fabio Vieira not coming on in this game? He has had a very, very good very good break during the World Cup, pre-break games. He's had a very wonderful spell. You're looking for a goal. Saka and Martinelli's magic are actually not coming off. Edin Ketia is not coming off. He's not doing things that are actually bringing any success to the team. Okay? Xhaka, in that game, absolutely pathetic. All right? Partey and Martin Odegaard, those are the two only players that were untouchable among all the players on the pitch. They are the only two players that were untouchable on that pitch. Ben White had a very poor game. Took so long to remove him from the game. I thought Alexander Zinchenko as well could have left the game, right? Because Kieran Tierney has the ability to go to the to go to the byline and bring those quality deliveries into the penalty area, man. Right? That is what I wanted. That is what I thought Mikel Arteta was going to do. But he was too scared. And I know why he was scared. The changes he made against Brighton actually scared him. Because he made a few changes, courtesy of game management, and the game was actually lost. The game was about to be lost in the dying minutes of the 90. And maybe he was actually scared. And he said, I won't make many changes. I'm going to leave the same starting 11 that I've gone with. I will make one change, and that's it. But Fabio Vieira was needed in that game. We needed another magician. We needed another player who can pull out, a cracket, right? We needed someone who could release the Kraken. And Fabio Vieira has got that in his locker. And I don't know how Fabio Vieira has not come on in that game. I'm not trying to blame Mikel. Love you, man. You're just a genius, right? But maybe you could have stood a chance if you brought on Fabio Vieira. Maybe he could have, released the Kraken from afar. Maybe he could have added that spicy pass that Martin Odegaard was looking for all evening. Maybe, just maybe you would have had more bodies in the penalty area. Just maybe, right? I don't know. Just maybe. But I want us to talk about a few performances that I didn't like. And number one is Edin Ketia. Now, he's not going to have a very good game every 90 minutes, but Eddie has to know this. If you're replacing a player as consistent as Gabriel Magalhaes, as Gabriel Jesus, and I'm saying this not because Jesus has been so good, but he's been so consistent, man. If you're replacing a player as consistent as Gabriel Jesus, you've got to be consistent yourself. Right? You've got to be consistent yourself. I like those little half turns and at times full turns that he makes. As a striker, they really make me feel we do have a number 9. But his positioning is absolutely sick. He stands in areas where he's not at the back post, he's not at the near post, and he's also not in the middle of the penalty area. So it's easy to put out of the game for defenders. And yesterday, the fact that we're playing the likes of Fabian Schär, Steven Botman, Dan Ban, those are huge centre-backs. You don't expect Edin Ketia to have any chances in the air against them. It was always going to be on the ground. But his positioning was very, very poor yesterday. But I don't want to go on. I don't want to go on to him. I think 2 good games, 1 bad one. Yeah, that's not a very, very bad ratio. The other player is Granit Xhaka. I feel like his performances have dipped a little bit. Again, yesterday, I thought if Xhaka was on his game, if Xhaka was on his very, very good game, on his very, very good day, Xhaka could have got a goal. There was a pass that he made to Edin Ketia, and I'm like, take that on. You need to take that one. You don't need to pass that around. You need to take that one. It's the same goal he scored against Tottenham Hotspur in the North London derby. And somehow this time, instead of going for goal, instead of going for power, low power shots, he's actually decided to make an assist. And it doesn't come off, really. It really, really doesn't come off. And I was very, very disappointed. But the two boys against Gabriel Martinelli and Saka didn't have very, very good games. The strategy from Newcastle was overload the wide areas. I think you saw that. Overload the wide areas. When Martinelli had the ball, 3 players surrounded him. When Saka had the ball, 3 players surrounded him. And you've got to give credit to Newcastle, because when you do that, it leaves the other areas of the pitch exposed, unless you're going to do it in a very, very quickly, in a very, very quick manner. So you deploy overloads, you deploy numbers on the left, but then you can quickly transition those numbers and replicate them on the right when Arsenal make a switch. That is what they actually did. We played at a very, very slow pace. If we had increased the pace of that game by maybe a millisecond, I feel like we could have done better. We would have got a better result. But for me, 0-0, not bad. How do we bounce back? That is the question. And for me, we will bounce back. We will definitely bounce back. The gap between Arsenal and Newcastle remains, but the gap between Manchester City and Arsenal is now 8 points. If they win, it will be only 5 points. So we pray they do not win against Chelsea. We pray that Chelsea can actually pull off a very fantastic, I don't know, mojo, maybe. That's the reason.